Hello, my name is Elaine Kane, and today's session will provide an overview of the classroom assessment scoring system, known as CLASS. Let's start with the agenda. In today's session, we will talk about what CLASS is and provide an overview of infant, toddler, and preschool class. We'll also talk about preparing for your class visit. The outcomes for today's session are as follows. Participants will be able to define what CLASS is and how it is used, identify components of the infant, toddler, and preschool class tool/instrument. I'll use those terms interchangeably, tool and instrument, to describe CLASS. The classroom assessment scoring system is an improvement system used to measure and increase quality classroom interactions, which we know is proven to drive children's academic and lifelong success. What's great about CLASS is that it provides a consistent lens for classroom quality so that you can focus on high quality interactions and create a shared understanding of quality in your program, measure the quality of interactions to create a system that enables data-driven improvement, and improve teacher quality through tailored and individualized professional development and coaching. Take a moment to read this slide. Research has shown that quality interactions promote and support children's cognitive and social development. Effective teachers are teachers who create opportunities for positive interactions and experiences for children. The main objective of CLASS is to provide information on the quality of interactions that are occurring in a classroom. CLASS observers are trained and must be considered reliable in order to use the CLASS tool. The way we provide information on the quality of interactions that are occurring in a classroom are through observations. The CLASS instrument allows us to understand how to develop high-quality classrooms. It focuses on daily interactions between teachers and children and what the teachers do with the materials they have. Today, we'll discuss CLASS for infants, for toddlers, and for preschoolers. Let's start with CLASS for infants. For CLASS, infant is defined as ages birth through 18 months old. The infant CLASS framework has one domain titled Responsive Caregiving. Responsive caregiving describes classrooms where teachers participate in shared experiences and infant play. They attend quickly to infants' cues and needs. They follow infants' leads and expand on experiences, and they also engage in back and forth communication exchanges. There are 4 areas of responsive caregiving: relational climate, teacher sensitivity, facilitated exploration, and early language support. Relational climate reflects the quality of relationships between caregivers and children. The emotional climate, the emotional warmth that's occurring, and indicators of respect and perspective taking conveyed by teachers in the context of infants' responses to these interactions. Teacher sensitivity focuses on the awareness of and responsiveness of infants' verbal and nonverbal cues, including the availability to provide comfort, the skill in which they resolve distress, and the manner or the quickness in which they respond to a child's needs. Facilitated exploration considers teachers' involvement with infants, their facilitation of experiences, and their interactions in routine care and playtime to support infants' engagement and development. Early language support captures the amount and effectiveness of teachers' use of language stimulation and language facilitation techniques to encourage infants' early language development. On the screen, you'll see that these are the type of things that, or the type of interactions or behaviors that the class observer will be noting and observing. Toddler class has two domains. The first domain is emotional behavioral support. Positive emotional and behavioral support in toddler classrooms is important for children to feel secure enough to form relationships with their teachers. For positive early social and behavioral development, toddlers need warm and consistent interactions with adults in their environment. Please take a moment to review this slide. Here are the components of emotional and behavior support. It consists of 5 areas: positive climate, negative climate, teacher sensitivity, regard for child perspective, and behavior guidance. Positive climate reflects the connection between the teacher and children and the warmth, respect, and enjoyment communicated by verbal and nonverbal interactions. Negative climate is about the level of negativity expressed by the teacher or children. Teacher sensitivity encompasses the teacher's responsiveness to and awareness of children's individual needs and emotional functioning. The extent to which the teacher is available as a secure base. And that secure base is how they're providing comfort, reassurance, and encouragement. Regard for student perspective focuses on the degree to which the teacher's interactions with children and classroom activity places an emphasis on children's interests, motivations, and points of view. Behavior guidance focuses on the teacher's ability to promote behavioral self-regulation in children by using proactive approaches, supporting positive behavior, and guiding and minimizing problem behavior. Let's move to the second domain. The second domain is titled Engage Support for Learning. Children with secure attachment to a teacher tend to explore their environment more fully, try new things, and exhibit high levels of play. They also develop a sense of independence or autonomy. Toddlers' relationships with teachers and caregivers provide them with a secure base from which to explore all facets of their world. And these emotional bonds play a predominant role in toddlers' language and cognitive development. Take a moment to review this slide. Now let's move into the components of engaged support for learning. There are 3 areas for this domain: facilitation of language and development, quality of feedback, and language modeling. Facilitation of language and development focuses on how well the teacher facilitates activities to support children's learning and developmental opportunities. Quality of feedback focuses on the manner in which educators provide feedback to a child in response to something the child says or does. And this feedback will allow the student to take away a deeper understanding, to continue to be in the moment of learning. Quality of feedback is always dependent upon the response to the student. It happens from what the child has either said or, and that it can be nonverbal or verbal. It's a response either way, but it's a response. This feedback is contingent upon that response. Language modeling focuses on the quality and amount of the teacher's use of language stimulation and language facilitation techniques to encourage children's language development. Now we're going to move into preschool class. The preschool class framework consists of 3 domains. The first domain is emotional support. This domain examines behaviors or actions such as being respectful, the awareness of a teacher, and if a teacher communicates positively with a child. Research shows that children in classrooms with high level of emotional support have more favorable emotional and academic outcomes than children who attend classrooms with lower levels of emotional support. Take a moment to review this slide. Here are the components of emotional support: positive climate, teacher sensitivity, negative climate, and regard for student perspective. Positive climate centers on the emotional relationship between teachers and children. Is there respect? Is there an overall enjoyment to be there with the children? Teacher sensitivity focuses on the awareness the teacher has about what is currently happening in the classroom and how the teacher is responding to children's emotional and academic needs. Negative climate is about the level of negativity expressed by the teacher or children. Regard for student perspective focuses on the degree to which the teacher's interactions with the children and the classroom activities place an emphasis on the children's interests, motivations, and points of view. The second domain is classroom organization. This domain is related to the organization and management of children's behaviors, time, and attention in the classroom. When teachers provide high-quality learning formats, children are not just passively learning, but are active participants in the learning experience. Take a moment to review this slide. There are 3 areas of classroom organization: behavior management, productivity, and instructional learning formats. Behavior management focuses on how effectively teachers monitor children, prevent misbehaviors, and redirect misbehaviors. Productivity is about how well the classroom runs with respect to routines and the degree to which teachers organize activities and directions so that the maximum time can be spent on learning activities. Instructional learning formats focuses on how teachers facilitate activities and provide interesting hands-on materials so that children are engaged and learning opportunities are maximized. Let's move to the third domain. The last domain in the preschool framework is instructional support. This domain dives into how teachers broaden children's understanding of a concept or skill, the quality of questions being used, and how teachers model language for children. Take a moment to review this slide. There are three areas of instructional support: cognitive development, quality of feedback, and language development. Cognitive development focuses on how you are creating opportunities for children to be involved in their learning and develop their cognitive skills. In this indicator, we are looking for ways the teacher is promoting higher order thinking and focusing on using strategies to support children's understanding of content. Quality of feedback focuses on the manner in which educators provide feedback to a student in response to something the student says or does that will allow the child to take away a deeper understanding and continue to be in the moment of learning. Language modeling focuses on how you are modeling language stimulation, how you are modeling language in stimulating ways to encourage and support language development. These components work together to support children's cognitive and language development. This concludes the last framework we're talking about today. We covered the infant class framework, the toddler class framework, and the preschool class framework. These frameworks are what the observer is using to gauge the interactions that are occurring in the classroom. Now let's talk about how class is going to be administered. For infants, instruction will be observed in 15-minute cycles. We'll observe 4 cycles, and the observer will take notes during the cycle and then step away and score for 15 minutes outside of the classroom after each cycle. They'll score and finish completing their notes. For toddlers and preschoolers, 20-minute cycles will be observed. 20 minutes of instruction will be observed at a time, and 4 cycles will be observed, and same thing will happen. The observer will record notes during the observation and then step out of the classroom, complete the scoring, and complete their notes within 10 minutes, a 10-minute time frame after each cycle. To prepare for observations, centers will provide classroom ages and daily schedules. The observer will confirm the evening or morning of the observation, and the observer will need an area and a chair to record and score in those 10-minute moments where they're scoring on the observations they just saw after every cycle. For more information about class, you can visit these sites. And that concludes today's session. I do have some references for you. Thank you for listening to this session. I appreciate your time.